Hello friends. So in previous lecture we discussed about the basic ideas about the municipal solid waste management. Okay, and what are the different methods for the collection of solid waste, municipal solid waste. After that we discuss about the transfer station. So the transfer station, it is nothing but the structure which is used for the collection of the solid waste, and from where we transfer the waste at the disposal site. Okay, so basically these transfer station are of two types. In that we discuss about the two types of transfer station. The first one is direct discharge transfer station, and second one is indirect discharge transfer station. Okay, so that direct discharge, which um, directly discharge waste from one container, that is from smaller container into larger container, and that waste is a transfer at the disposal site from the larger container. And second one is the storage container or transfer station, or storage discharge transfer station. In that, the waste which collected from that local area from small vehicles, that waste is empty into that container. That is container, it means the storage container. Okay, or either you can say the transfer station. Okay, where the waste is separated, segregated, the metals are separated, and the plastics are separated, glass and woods are separated, and after that that remaining waste is transferred at the disposal site. Okay, so that means whatever the separation of plastic, separation of wood, separation of papers, separation of cardboards, separation of metal, so this all that carried out at that transfer station, that is called as storage discharge transfer station, where we separation, segregation, and maybe composting also. These all processes that carried out at the storage discharge transfer station. Okay, so after that we discuss about the why the solid waste is needs to be collected. Okay, at regular interval, because to avoid the to avoid the air pollution as well as to avoid soil pollution. Okay, so we need also to prevent the diseases which causes due to um, improper throwing of solid waste over the land. So that all you can minimize by the properly collection and disposal of the solid waste. So that's the need of collection of solid waste. So some points that should be considered during collection of solid waste. So in that we discuss the solid waste should be collected daily or weekly. Okay, according to that particular area and according to the frequency of solid waste. Again, the municipal solid waste should be collected separately. So you can see this what the collection were made by municipal council or district council. Okay, so that collection were made by the municipal or district council, and that waste, municipal waste, can be collected uh, twice a week or daily. After that, second point is that the municipal solid waste should not mix with the electronic waste or e-waste, or either second thing, that municipal solid waste should not mix with the industrial waste, and municipal solid waste should not mix with the biomedical waste. That means all the process for that collection of municipal solid waste should be separate. The process for the collection of biomedical waste is also the separate, and similarly for the electronic waste and industrial waste, the waste collection should be different, and that waste uh, you can transport and then dispose according to that management system. So that means the person or worker which required for that municipal solid waste collection and electronic waste collection and biomedical waste collection should be the good knowledge of the management system, that is how to collect, how to store, how to separate, and how to dispose. So that second thing is that it is important to need provide a knowledge or training programs to the workers. Okay, those workers who are come in contact with the solid waste, either it may be municipal e-waste or maybe biomedical waste. So those worker or those people should be aware about the management system. Okay, so proper training should be given to that workers, okay, which come in contact with the solid waste management system. Okay, so they all know how to collect the waste, how to store the waste, in which container store the waste, how to separate and segregate the waste, and how to dispose the waste. Okay, and this system is different to the different waste. Different for the municipal solid waste, is different for the biomedical waste, also the different for e-waste, and also the different for the industrial waste. Okay, again the waste which is in what we can say biodegradable in nature, either you can say it may be garbage, meat, fruit peels, or vegetables. Okay, so that waste should not mix with the non-biodegradable waste. Okay, because why? And this biodegradable waste or organic waste, you can say that waste you can compost at the composting. Okay, and you can produce a fertilizer or a humus, okay, which is having a good NPK value that you can use for that for plantation and agriculture purpose. Okay, so that's why whatever that compost whatever that biodegradable waste, okay, it may be food waste, it may be restaurant waste, okay, that waste you can collect separately, and that waste you can decompose by composting process separately. Okay, so these some points that should be considered during collection of the solid waste. Okay, so after that, uh, what are the different methods we are going to use for that collection of the waste? Okay, so before that, you can see the collection were made by either municipal council, either a district council, or either it may be the private firm under contract to the municipal, or either it is private firm contract with the private residents. Okay, so these are the various collection members which collect the waste from the different houses, okay, and from the different centers. Okay, so what are the different methods to collection of for the collection of waste? So you can see here door to door collection. So door to door collection, that is one thing or one type. Second is community bin collection. Okay, next the community bin collection carried out once in 24 hours required manual and multiple handling of waste to dump into the transportation of vehicles, and that is classified into transfer station and disposal site. So transfer station we already discussed in detail. So various advantages of transfer station. So you can minimize the hauling distance, you can separate and segregate the waste, you can recycle the waste, you can compost the waste, and the remaining waste after compaction also you can reduce the volume of waste. Okay, so after that you can transfer that waste at the disposal site. Okay, so this is the flow sheet which is used for the collection of waste. Okay, so door to door collection and community bin collection. So transfer station TS, and from that TS you can transfer the waste at the disposal site. Okay, so basically these two methods, that is door to door collection, that is house to house collection you can say, and community bin collection, that is centralized bin where you can throw your waste into that bin. Okay, so these two methods you can use for the collection of the waste. Okay, so these municipal collection services classify into types of, so you can see this is the curb system, alley system, set out and setback system, and backyard collection system. Okay, so these are the various methods which are used for that house to house collection system. Okay, so these all types of the house to house collection, or either you can say door to door collection system. Okay, so just see what is meant by curb system or curbside. House owner is responsible for placing solid waste container at the curb on scheduled day. Okay, so it is outside to the house. Okay, and you have to place, and the owner is responsible for placing that container at the curb on the scheduled day, and whatever that municipal vehicles they collect the waste or your container they collect from that curb. Okay, so that is the procedure at during the in this system, curb system. House owner is responsible for placing the solid waste container at the curb on the scheduled day. The workman come collect and empty the container and put back at the curb. Okay, so after empty that container into the truck and they put back at the curb. Okay, next house owner is required to take back the empty container from the curb to his house. Okay, so it is quickest and economical system. And how much we required a person, the one is driver and one is collector. Okay, so basically one 2 to 3, okay, maximum 3 person required for the collection of waste by this system, curb system. Okay, and no need to enter properly. Okay, no need to enter property. Okay, so you can collect the waste from the outside the house. Okay, so you can see that system is called as the curb system. So the owner is responsible, or we are the responsible person for placing the container outside the house. Okay, so you can see the curb system. It is what the house owner is responsible for placing solid waste containers at the curb on scheduled day. Next, the workman come, collect and empty the container and put back at the curb. Next, house owner is required to take back the empty containers from the curb to his house, and this system is quickest system, economical system, and basically 2 to 3 person are required. That is, one is a driver and 2 person or 1 person for the collection of that waste. Okay, and not required to enter into that property or a house. Okay, so second is the set out setback system. Okay, so set out setback system, so it is a system where collectors have to enter property, then set out crew carries full containers from resident storage location to curb alley before collection vehicles arrive, and collection crew load their refuse into the vehicles. So setback crew returns the container to the storage area. So this about the setback and set out system and the curb system, which are used for that collection of the waste from that house to house system. So in this topic we discuss about this point. Okay, so what is that point? So collection were made by municipal council and district council, or either it may be the private firm under the contract to municipal. Second, the private firm contract with the private residents. And this system we use for the collection of waste, door to door collection and community bin collection. Okay, so from that you can transfer that waste at the transfer station, and finally from transfer station to the disposal site. Okay, so in door to door system, or either you can say house to house collection system, these are classified into these four types. The first one is a curb system, then alley system, then set out and setback system, and backyard system. So curb system, in that house owner is responsible for placing the solid waste container at the curb on scheduled day. The workman come and collect and empty the container and put back at the curb. Then house owner is required to take back the empty containers from the curb to his house. It's quickest and economical system, and it requires one driver and one collector, or sometimes two collector, and no need to enter the property. Okay, and what is about the set out and setback system? Collectors have to enter property. So out queue carries full container from the resident storage location to curb, and collection crew load their refuse into vehicle, and set back crew return to the container to the storage area.